Visha. How's it going? How's it going? It is already midday. I don't know if you guys feel like the day has gone by pretty fast or pretty quickly, but it has gone by immensely. It's gone by pretty fast for me. It feels like I just woke up at 5 and now it is already almost noon here. I am doing good. I'm doing good. Our declaration is right on time. Our declaration is going to be right on time, right on time. Come on. Listen, the weekend is already, yes. It feels like a Friday today to me. It really, I don't know if you guys feel that same way, but Capone, it really feels like a Friday to me. It feels like it is Friday, but it is Thursday. It seems like we just started this week. If I really want to just be totally transparent, it really feels like we just started this week. It feels like it was just Monday and now it's already pretty much the weekend. And so again, our declaration is right on time. We serve a God who comes through right on time. I'm gonna say it again. It did fly by. We serve a God that comes through right on time. And to think we are at the tail end of the month of May. I will say that May has been a decent month. Apart from like Bella and going through that with Bella, this month has been very different. I don't know if you guys can say that this month has been very different. I will say that this month has not had the amount of warfare that the rest of this year has had, or I guess the months prior has had. It has been very much so different. Not different in a bad way, but it's just been a different month. It's been a month of revelation. It's been a month of healing for many people. For me, it's been one of those months where, it's just been a fast month. It's just literally been a fast month. I'm already almost a month into the new place. And so I think at this point, it feels like home, if that makes sense. And so, hey, Natasha. And so again, our declaration is right on time. Like, how many of y'all know that like we serve a God that is right on time? I'm going to say that again. How many of you guys like know we serve a God who's right on time? We serve a God who is right on time. By a show of hands, how many people can just literally say, we serve a God who is literally right on time? He comes through right on time. Right on time. As you guys can see, I made it back home. I got to go back out. I said, Lord, you ain't giving me no downtime. God isn't giving me any downtime. I really have not had downtime. It's just been go, 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 go. My tattoo lady's like, hey, are you free today for me to finish your tattoo? I'm like, yeah, I can make time. I can manage it. And I'm like, what time? She's like 1 p.m. I'm like, lady, it's 11 already. 2 hours? Are you serious? But she's one of those busy artists where, honestly, she's booked up until July, but God is just, she's so cool. She's just taken such a liking to me where she's just literally like, come on, I'm gonna fit you in. I'm gonna fit you in. Come on. So, I'm grateful for that. I'm very much so grateful for that. I didn't really understand the significance of I have not even shown you guys. Listen, he's making sure I don't have no downtime. I just knew I was going to be able to come home, just relax a little bit. God said no. I almost wanted to tell her, no, I can't make it today. And God was like, no, tell her you're free. Tell her you can go ahead and get it done. But I didn't realize the nature of like the tattoo that I got. And I know certain people feel different types of ways about tattoos. And to each his own. I just know that this is something that God has allowed for me to do. And I just didn't really realize at the time when I got it how very prophetic it was. I didn't know that a storm was coming. I I can remember, last Monday, I got the tattoo. When was it? Right before I moved in. And I didn't realize how prophetic it really was at the time. And then when I went through it with Bella, I was low key mad. Like, God, why you made me get this tattoo? Why did I get this tattoo? But little did I know it was a reminder for me that, it was a reminder for me of my need for God. He's not just a want. I need him. He is the air that I breathe. And so I'm grateful to be able to go ahead and finish completing it, which it is probably for the most part almost done. She just has to add my background to it. But the declaration is right on time. God is a God that comes through right on time. This morning was one of those mornings where I kind of struggled a little bit. Not like to write facts, Visha. And I will ghost anybody for God. I will ghost. Listen, people be like, oh, you gonna ghost me? No, I will ghost anybody for God. I don't play with. I will ghost anybody for God. Maybe y'all not there. I will ghost anybody and anything for God. You can get gone. Like, facts. Within a blink of an eye. If God say you gotta go, you gotta go. That's just how deep my relationship is with God. But this morning I was in an uncomfortable place this morning. Let's say it that way. To the left, come on. To the left. But I was in a very uncomfortable place this morning because I knew what I had to do. And I knew that, God, I don't have the means to do what I need to do today. Like, I just literally did not starting the day. And so it's been a minute since God has actually had me to make a move first and then do what I had to do. It was one of those days where God is like, you need to go ahead and go to your appointment and you need to put gas in your car. And he made me make the first move. And I had to show him that I trusted him. Well, you guys followed that journey this morning a little bit. I went ahead and went to my appointment. It wasn't as expensive as I thought. Had just what I had, literally just what I needed. I had like $1 left over from what had been sold at that point. And literally as I'm walking into the appointment, more funds come. And it was enough for me to put a little bit of gas in my car and to get me some breakfast. Because I don't know what it was today, but I had a desire for a sausage and biscuit from Chick-fil-A. Is it on my diet? No, but that was what I wanted today. And so that's what God allowed me to get. And it was literally, I had just the right amount. And so as I was, kind of just, thanking God in the mix of just praising him, the Lord told me this. He said, this is what faith does. As I was just praising him, because I'm like, okay, God, I was on EE. Like, I was like 20 some miles E. Like, the gas hadn't yet come on, but my car was sending me notifications on the app. Like, listen, you got low fuel. You need to put some gas in this car. But as I was praising him and seeking him, the Lord made this comment. He said, this is what faith does. And I knew that in that moment of God saying this is what faith does, I knew that ultimately what he was saying was faith yields results. Faith moves my hand. I'm going to say it again. Faith moves his hand. Faith brings results. And a lot of times all that God needs us to do is to make whatever move it is that he's asking us to make, and to trust that right in the nick of time that he will come through. I'm telling y'all, literally as I walked into that apartment, I knew that, okay, after I pay for my services, I'm not going to have anything for gas. But he waited until I showed him my hand, until I showed him my faith, and he responded. And I believe that there are so many of y'all that need that reminder. Faith moves God's hand. And faith looks different in different circumstances. Faith is not always about sowing financially. Faith looks different depending on whatever it is, what God is requiring of you to show, how he's requiring of you to show your faith, it varies. And so, the question becomes, what is it that you need to do? What is it that you need to do today to show God your hand, to show him where your faith is? Have you worked on that business? Have you reached out to those investors? Have you, started back on the book project? Have you started back picking up other, what does, you have to, and this is something that you got to go into your own prayer time and ask God, what are you requiring of me today? How do I need to show you that I trust that you got me? Am I making sense? Give me a one if I'm making sense. What is it that God is needing from you today to show him that you trust him? For me, faith this morning looked like, go to your appointment. Don't worry about anything else. And as you go here, you'll have exactly what you need. He needed me to move first. Now think about it. Had I not moved on that, had I just told this girl, listen, I can't make my weekly appointment. I just simply cannot make it. I would not have gotten my needs met. I pray that I'm making sense. I would not have, had that moment where God can just simply say, this is what faith does. I wouldn't have had that experience. And so just like we think about how many times and I say we because nobody's perfect and everybody at some point has missed the mark. I don't care who you are. Everybody at some point has missed the mark, but it makes you think like, what experiences with God have I missed out on because I've been unwilling to move, because I've been willing to obey, because I've been willing to show God my faith? And a lot of times when we don't show God our faith, we expose our hand of fear. I'm going to say that again. A lot of times when we don't show God our faith in action, unconsciously what begins to happen is we expose our own fears. And it's like when you don't move, because we know obedience yields breakthrough, obedience yields results. And so it's like when we don't do what God is requiring of us, we enter into disobedience. And it's not even on a warfare tip, but what happens in that moment is we miss out on opportunities where we could have seen God do something so magnificent, so amazing in our lives. We miss out on the experience of having a pure and a close-knit relationship with God. I pray that I'm making sense. So again, what is it that you need to be doing today? What is it that you need to be doing today? How do you need to be showing God your faith today? Have you shown God your faith up to this point in today? Or have you been exposing your own fears, your own insecurities, your own vulnerabilities? Because it's either one or the other. It's the same principle. It's like whatever you feed, you automatically starve the other. And so if you're busy feeding your faith, then your fears become small. They become so small to the point where they seem non-existent. But when we feed our fears, we starve our faith. And so it's kind of impossible to show God that we have faith. It's impossible. It becomes words without action at that point. And it's the same way, it correlates the same as what we show God. When we show him faith, we show him that God, I got more faith than fear. It diminishes our fears. But when we refuse to show God our faith, however, in the moment he's requiring that we show it to him, it's kind of like what we're saying is, God, I don't have faith, but I do have fear. I'm going to say that again. When we refuse to, whether we consciously or unconsciously refuse to show God that we trust him, that we trust his plans for our life, that we trust that his will prevail, what we're unconsciously saying is, I don't have faith, but here's my fear. And so what happens when we show God that we have more fear than faith is, of course, he has to let the circumstances continue. He has to let certain cycles repeat itself. And as we seek him, what begins to happen is every time we go through something, it exposes a fear and it begins to purge us of that fear. What do I mean by purge? The process rids us of fear, which is why a lot of times in our processes, what will happen is the very thing that you fear is the very thing that you have to face. Ouch. Which is why a lot of times, I'm going to say it one more time for the one time. A lot of times, what happens is the very thing that you fear is the very thing that you got to face. I wish I had somebody to talk back to me. Yep, I'm going to say it one more time. A lot of times, right? Think about the children of Israel. When he freed them from Egyptian bondage, the thing that they feared the most was what they had to experience. They feared continual doubt. Continual lack. So God put them in a process that resembled that. For me, in my process, like when I gave God like my yes to full-time ministry, my fear was being homeless again. He put me in a position where it felt like I was homeless. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. And I think that in itself, going through things that we're afraid to go through again, or we're afraid to go through in general, like it exposes our fears. I'm going to say that again. It exposes our fears. It feels traumatic because it's like God is like pulling the rug up over things that like we've hidden. Because it's like we get good. We become great actors in life. We become great actors at acting like certain things don't bother us anymore. We become great actors in saying that, oh, I'm healed, knowing deep down there are certain parts where it's not that you're healed. It's that you've pulled the rug over certain parts in your heart. I pray that I'm making sense. You've blocked certain things out. And so it's like when you think about what the Bible says, it says, count it all joy. That when he puts us through the fire, he brings us out whole and mature, not lacking anything. Like, I believe like a part of that scripture is talking about like the fear. Going through the fire exposes our fear, but also it doesn't just expose it, because to expose something without bringing healing and restoration would make God out to be not a benevolent father, which is a liar. And so it's like he exposes and heals certain areas of our life, and he does it according to like what we're able to handle, because there are certain things that some of us have hidden for so long and chosen to kind of just act like that, like certain things don't bother us, that God knows like it would be like too much on us. Like for instance, like Bella, that year and a half, I was like, God knew, had it happened too soon, me having to put her down, like it would have destroyed me, because I was not in a place where I could handle that. And so God waited he waited until the moment where I got to a place where I could accept his will in it. I pray that I'm making sense, a place that wouldn't destroy my faith. And so that's just the beauty of God. He deals with us in a very delicate way. He's not looking to break us, but he is looking to heal us and make us whole, if that makes sense. And so the question is, what have you been showing God? Oh, that was heavy. Have you been showing him your faith, or have you been saying, God, I don't have faith, but I do have fear? What have you been showing God? Because honestly, whatever it is that you showing him, it really does determine what happens next. It determines if you gotta, repeat some things, if you have to be tested some more, or it determines whether or not he can move in that situation or that circumstance. And so that was just a little bit of food for thought. That was just a little bit of food for thought. But nevertheless, when he does come through, it's right on time. It is right on time. And so that is the broadcast, you guys. That is the broadcast for now. That is the broadcast. And so I love y'all. I am rooting for you. To those of you guys that, that feel led to sow or want to sow, just label this your faith over fear seed. And so until next time, y'all, peace.